swagger, okay? Regardless of what happens out there. Doesn't matter. Keep your swagger. Keep your swagger.
Well. Week 9. Oh my goodness, it starts Saturdays. Welcome everyone to the pod, basically, I guess. Hope everyone's having a great start to your December. Hope you got all your Christmas shopping in. And I guess here we are shopping for, I guess, the best starts, the best folks that are going to get you home for this week 9 weekend. Okay, so I guess we'll pop straight into it. Starter bench. We're here in the Discord basically, and we're just gonna pop down through the different team building threads. We got to start somewhere, so we are going to start with Z or Z, I guess, depending on which side of the border. Anyway, so Batherson versus Nashville or Jarvis versus the Islanders. Definitely. Yeah, I think it's just Jarvis. Rolling with that, Jarvis. Okay. Keys poll, choose one skater to bench. And so he's got what? Wyatt Johnston, William Nylander, Matthew Nice, Frank Vetrano, Jesper Bratt, Stefan Nason, and Kiefer Sherwood. Yeah, Sherwood's been a real head scratcher recently. I'm probably the poll already closed. But yeah, I agree with the vast majority of folks. Sherwood's I'm gonna pull up his because I've been holding on as well, hoping and praying he comes true. He just does so much technically on the peripheral side. But yeah, it's just his minutes. It's just been so inconsistent. He even got a goal yesterday, right? That was great. But yeah, trending downward on minutes is definitely not ideal by any stretch or measure. Who do they play tonight? They play. Well, they don't play tonight. They play Tampa tomorrow. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna roll through. The Cake Eaters. Which one should I bench for today? Arturi Lehkonen or Brian Rust? I really like the Colorado games recently because they're so firecrackery, right? You know that Georgiev or Forgiev is not going to be able to keep the puck out of the net. So basically, Colorado's always going to be involved in gunslinging firefights no matter what. Mind you, I said all of that about Colorado, and now I'm pausing and thinking, is Pittsburgh in really a different state at all? I don't entirely think there's much of a setup there. But they are facing Toronto, and Toronto is nothing if not. Toronto can be stingy. Toronto can get into a lot of 2-1, 3-1, I guess, grind fests. Let's see, Brian Rust, he's got what, a goal? I guess if you count that Vancouver win, he has 3 goals in the past 5 games. Yeah, Lek. I don't know. I'm leaning Lek. That's my initial reaction. Yeah, line 1 power play. Yeah. 24 minutes. Ooh, juicy. 2 goals aside. Let's pop right in there and vote for Lek and call it the day. Okay, ASAP Keefe. .QP20 team points banks. Okay, Larkin or Velarde? Simple. Larkin. All right, we're rolling on. Shiver Me Timbers. Just wanted your thoughts on my roster and which players that you feel are possible streamers. Picked up my last stream, Jake DeBrusk, in week 8 and held on to him since. He has been hot with his 3 goals this week 10. He'll be on my bench, so probably a drop. Any others? If so, can you rate in order? Thanks a million. Okay, so we're pulling up this team. We're looking at it. So he's got Point, Draisaitl, Malkin, Marchand. So I reading off those names, none of those names are potential drops. Gunther, Lehkonen, Sanderson, Hedman. I guess maybe we'll keep the forwards aside. So, okay, maybe we'll go D first because D is straightforward and simple. Sanderson, Hedman, Heiskanen, Theodore. He's got no other D, so I guess they all stay. So he's considering Zibanejad, Kreider, DeBrusk, Lehkonen, Gunther. So of those four, you oh man, I don't think you can drop Zib or Kreider just by virtue of the sheer amount of Rangers fans in the league that will automatically pick those guys up. Man. Okay, so which guy of these are possible streamers? I mean, technically all the guys we just listed there. DeBrusk, probably. Man, I gotta see what Gunther is. The thing is, Gunther is one of those guys where he's part of that initial hot start to boot. And man, he's just a young guy, right? So his breakout, quote unquote, potential is just insurmountably and unfathomably amazing. Or at least, well, people like to think it. But even when you think about those 6-1 wins against that 6-1 win against Vegas, right? He got 1 assist, 14 minutes of ice. I don't know. I would say Gunther's upside is probably the range where I would say his ceiling is definitely rosterable and his floor is still very muted just because he's so new. I'm leaning at least toward like a Gunther type player. I don't know if I would like lock him in on a forever. He's kind of in the same vein as a Dorofeyev on the Golden Knights, where like I hold on to him in so many roster spots as well, mainly because the idea and perspective of him like breaking out even further is like tantalizingly juicy, so to speak. But I mean, if you look at their actual production day to day, I don't know. I'd probably hold on to DeBrusk and give like the dual eligible dude a chance further. But anywho, do want to clarify, Shiver Me Timbers, if this is a redraft league. It's a dynasty league, obviously. Yeah, Gunther ain't droppable. Okay, we have cleared out the starter bench at the moment. You can also throw comments in. Oh, sorry about that, Armin Safari. Is it still improving? And yeah, just let me know. Okay, so not for today, but how would you rank for rest of season? Pietrangelo, Chabot, Folk, Matheson, Taves, and Jones. Armin, just confirming, are you in a league that rosters for D? Because you got 6 guys there. Man, it's so frustrating. Like if I break down each of those guys, oh yeah, I guess we'll jump back first. Turnberry, yeah, it's a redraft. I would probably say Gunther is one of those guys where he's gonna give you those Montreal 3-2 win nights, right? Like if you look at that game on November 26th, it looks amazing. Or even like the game where they crushed Pittsburgh 6-1. He's gonna get you a fair few points. He's going to blow up. He's going to, more importantly, more than anything, play like the 19 minutes, the 18 minutes. But it's just that the games where he drops down to 12 minutes or 14 minutes, and I have to check the game log specifically to see if that's like a time on ice in terms of he's getting his 5-a-side shifts or he's getting his power play shifts. But it's very frustrating with some of the younger guys because basically they don't have the respect of coaches quite yet. And the moment they take either like half a shift off or something, or there's just like, a back pass that went wrong the other way, and then they score, someone has to take the blame. And unfortunately, they kind of just pawn off those issues or pawn off those concerns. Sometimes you end up with situations where the coaches call out even the superstar guys. But also it's a lot easier to pick on like, the younger dude that pops in. And then if he rides the pine, it doesn't matter if it's justified or not. You end up with a dude with 12 minutes in a 60-minute game. Okay, I'm going to pop back in. Let's see. So Armin Safari, those guys, 4 spots, Taves and Jones on free agency. Oh, man. Okay, so Vegas's issue is it's a distribution issue, right? So Pietrangelo, you don't ever want to drop the guy, mainly because if he pops back up and gets over Hanifin and Theodore that power play 1, you're going to feel like a sucker to drop him. But on the flip side, like you look at those past 6-game logs. Has he done much? I mean, he came back with an assist on the game, but 5 straight games, no points, no goals, no production, no anything. He is getting blocks. But yeah, it's I don't know. Offensively is looking pretty dire. Geez, at least in my league where I carry everything in that league, he's ranked 220th. Christ. Oh man. Okay. So Pietrangelo is certainly a frustrating dude. Man, Shabbat, no blocks in your league. Christ. Okay, so even the one thing that would keep him extremely relevant ain't keeping him. So Shabbat is yeah, it's the Sanderson issue, isn't it? Yeah. Man, feel for it a bit, Armin. It seems like you ended up with a bunch of guys on the team that are power play 2 guys, and if not even like Pietrangelo, they lost the power play totally. So let's see. Matheson had that same issue, right? Lane Hudson. Man, the last game logs were nuts. 8 minutes. So almost 4 minutes of power play and power play 1 ice time for Lane Hudson. Also with Patrick Lining popping up. Unfortunately for, I guess, Matheson, Holders Hudson also ended up not only with an assist that game, but a power play assist that game. Mind you, at the same time, Matheson easily cleared the time on ice setup. Like he was almost breaching 30 minutes, right? 28 minutes of ice time, almost 9 minutes of shorthanded ice time as well. So I don't think Matheson is a concern in terms of general ice time. But yeah, I would say Hudson at the very least looks. We'll have to see what happens going forward. But yeah, it looks at least like they're willing to try him out as a power play specialist. Kind of like I'm trying to think of the other dude that was like that power play specialist. Name's escaping me. But yeah. Okay. Other dudes, Taves and Jones, are on free agency. I mean, Jones. Let's see that dude. You're talking Seth Jones. It's got to be. Still an IR. Oh, I didn't see the projections for when he's slated to be back or if he's even skating. But yeah, isn't that just an IR spot? Just chuck him into an IR spot and you're good to go. Okay, Folk is basically dealing with the resurgence of Folk's day to day as well. Criminal. Okay. Yeah, it's the problem of the resurging Parayko, right? Parayko, I don't think nobody expected to be this good at this point. Yeah, unfortunate for Justin Folk holders. But yeah, both Folk and Jones are one's IR, one's day to day, so that's definitely an IR plus jab, and then you roll on from that. Okay. Was that all the questions? I would, in terms of a ranking for rest of season, I would definitely say, I guess in terms of general play, when they're all healthy, I would definitely keep Jones in there. I would definitely keep, Taves. So you're saying Taves is on free agency, eh? Taves on free agency. Let's see. The bona fide second defenseman of the Colorado Avalanche. Yeah. I don't know, man. He's getting so many minutes and no production for it. Oh, I don't know. It's almost like it reminds me of that 2014 Argentine World Cup team, right? It's like the two M's that carry the team. I guess it's what Mascherano to stop them and Messi to score. I don't know. That's kind of like that's very much like the Colorado Avalanche. There's Makar. He does everything up front and Taves does everything behind, but good effective defensive sticks and positioning doesn't get reflected in fantasy hockey. Maybe we'll stay away from Taves for now. Matheson, I would say, is frick. Like he's not going to. I can't imagine Hudson just takes over forever. That's my initial impression, at least. I can't imagine he stays on for the rest of it. He's gonna, dip and have drops in play. Yeah, it's got to be. So I think Matheson you got to hold on to, and I'm a little less optimistic for Pietrangelo, Chabot, and Folk to do the same. But I would say of all those guys, the guy that probably I would believe in the least might be Folk. I just don't like Theodore and Hanifin. Both seem to be at least currently more offensive defensemen than Pietrangelo. But again, it just takes one of those guys to get hurt or anything for Pietrangelo to pop right back up. And again, mind you, like Vegas, that team is amazing with cap shenanigans. And if any of those guys get hurt, it's a very much a chance that those guys just kind of, stay on the IR. So, I guess I would probably say of those, if there were 4 names, I would stay with Jones, Matheson, Folk, and Chabot. Man, I am going to look at Sanderson a bit though, because his start's been so hot. Except he has cooled down a bit in the last 4 games. No points, no production. Still getting a ton of minutes though. Oh, yeah, I think you gotta stick with Chabot and see what happens with Jake Sanderson. Okay, those are the comments so far. So we've gone to the starting bench. We've gone through our comments. I guess we'll just roll through and go through to ad drop and then the trade talk goalie chat. We're gonna rotate through those guys. Okay, let's click through the trade talk first. Mind you, I was gonna say as well for any managers. I know this is a sit start Saturday setup, but if any managers are looking to trade at this point, go ahead to that daily face-off weekly schedule and basically check to see in your league what playoff weeks are which. If you're in the top 2 leagues, if you're in the top 2 bye week, if you are in your league, the top 2 positions, and you are most likely projecting to be in a bye week, then you can kind of skim over and skip the first week because obviously you're just going to be sitting in a bye. But definitely look at the semifinal weeks and the final weeks to see where your roster is going to shake up. And I would say, like, just looking forward a little bit. So I'm gonna, I guess, let's project. So most people would probably have their playoff weeks starting on not January. They would probably have their playoffs starting March 17th, that Monday, 2025. Which means obviously if you're in the top 2 positions, you're going to end up with your I guess your March 24 and your March 31st weeks as your semifinals and finals. So just go ahead, look over and check which teams are, going to be playing in that week, which teams are going to have like a specific schedule that week. And you can set some trade targets for them too, right? So generally speaking, I would prioritize in terms of the 2 weeks. You always want to you always want to project what the week you are guaranteed to play. So unfortunately, it is kind of luck of the draw for how your schedule shakes out for the finals for that March 31st week. But definitely prep hard if you're projecting at least that you're going to get the bye week. Prep hard for that March 24th week and just see where your team shakes out, right? Like early seasons, obviously, but just looking at March 24th, Boston plays 2 games, Florida plays 2 games, right? So like think about if there are any trade targets that you could, acquire from those teams or trade away from those teams, to try to rephrase, not acquire from those teams. You would be targeting away from trading for Boston Bruins or Florida Panthers. If you had that buy, you would want to get rid of them possibly for better high value players. Even looking at that week, like trying to see, like, I guess New Jersey has an amazing semifinal schedule. Vancouver also has an amazing semifinal schedule. See if you can snag any of those stud players and trade them instead for, I guess, rotate those Boston players and those Florida players out. Okay. Say sideways segment, talking about the trade talk. Okay, we'll bounce back into the trade talk right there. So I guess we do have to start somewhere. Maybe we'll scroll down a bit. Let's go to yeah, we'll start with yesterday, right? December 6th, 2024. Keller and Robertson versus Aho and Kempe. Yeah, I'm going Aho and Kempe. Oh man, everyone is going for Aho and Kempe. Okay. Kempe and Bouchard versus Boldy and Dunn. Sorry, I guess for any listeners, that's for Pup Sports Group. Okay. And I think we have to go Kempe and Bouchard. Yeah, that upside is way, way higher. League stats from Spaka 10. Okay. Dostal versus Merzlikins. Oh, man, I need to see if Tarasov is getting those starts because I know at the moment Merzlikins has gotten Okay, so he started, oh my God, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's had 7 straight starts before taking a break where they lost to Edmonton, and then he came back in against Vancouver and still got blown up and got pulled. So that looks horrendous. Okay, let's see Tarasov's setup. So Tarasov. Oh, sorry, I clarified. He didn't get pulled versus Vancouver. Vancouver just somehow scored 4 goals on 16 shots. Christ, that's criminal. Okay, so Tarasov, yeah, frick, Merzlikins is getting all those bulk starts. And on the flip side, I would say he's not getting any starts right now, right? Like Dostal. Like I don't know if folks have been like realizing this, but like Dostal's points, even like currently he's 100th in my league that heavily weights goalies. He only has most of those points because of his early bulk starts. Like if you actually look at the guy getting the starts now, ever since Gibson's been back, it's been Gibson's world. Gibson has started the last 2 games. He started the last 4 of 5. Like you can keep going, right? So the last 6 of like 9. You know, he's just getting 2 out of the 3 starts. So specifically, if you're looking at those stats, I'd say Frig Merzlikins, man, he's gonna get you actually, like starting runs. Okay. League trade, Nurse, and he is receiving. Darnell Nurse receives J-Row. Okay. Oh, it's just a 1-for-1. Oh, okay. Receive. Yeah, I guess you have to trade Nurse. Okay, yeah, simple. Okay, that was way easier than I thought. Okay, trade Nurse. Where are we back in the trade? Oh, boys, we're all the way back down. Okay, I guess I have to find that Nurse one. Okay, so I guess Matt EC from Markstrom, Markstrom, Aho on the right, Ottinger and Scheifele. Sorry, Markstrom, Aho on the green, and Ottinger, Scheifele on the right. Oh, okay. So, does anyone feel like it? So this trade is one of the first trades where it feels like a wash both ways. Okay, so let's see. Markstrom. Oh, okay. Essentially, just do you want the Devils starter or the Stars starter? And then do you want the L1 line 1 center on both of like the top teams in their respective conferences? I can't believe I'm saying this. Really, I don't have any leaning on either side. This seems like one of the most awash trades. Like just it washes out on both sides ever. Yeah, maybe we lean Aho. Does Scheifele even get? Does Scheifele kill power plays? I'm just gonna give it a quick check over here. But in my mind, I know Aho is a very solid 2-way. And I was like, does Scheifele do that? Or is Scheifele okay, let's check. So it does not seem as well. I mean, it gets 5 seconds of shorthanded time. It does not seem like Scheifele is the defensive stalwart in that same way. So maybe if I was like inventing reasons to support one side, I'd lean the Aho side. But honestly, this trade, Matt EC, is basically a wash to me. And yeah, learning how to read. I guess it depends if you want the better center or the better goalie. Oh, okay. So I guess he's saying it's got to be Aho and Ottinger, right? It's got to be. But yeah, I think they're basically a wash. Okay. Oh, so Maddie C says I'd prefer Otter, but I unfortunately have to trade him this year or put him back in the draft. In which case, it's a simple one, right? If there's such a wash, you might as well just trade it and acquire a better goalie that you don't need to punch back into the draft. Easy peasy. Okay, who wins head-to-head points league? Okay, so let's see that poll from Zed. Forsberg or Barkov? Forsberg or Barkov? Frick, did they have a clarification for which one was which? Like what are the stats in the league? I don't know. I have Forsberg in I don't hold Barkov in any leagues. I do hold Forsberg, and he is currently top 40 in the league, which I guess isn't performing to his actual drafted value. But at the same time, like this is again on a team that's doing so poorly right now. Do we expect that run to continue indefinitely? I would hope not. Um, yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to compare Barkov real quick. So if he's top 40, Barkov is. Oh, but he was injured, right? Because he's top 90 right now, but he was injured. Yeah, okay. I can see it. I can see Barkov. Okay. And let's see. Blades of Steel. Who is better? Cats. Okay, it's a Cats league. So who is better, Tuch or DeBrincat? Oh my goodness, Tuch. So far, Tuch. The thing with DeBrincat too is that team, and I think it was covered on by Matty K. That team is extremely, extremely dependent on that power play. And oh man, it's just the amount of times you start DeBrincat and it seems like he does nothing, and then you check back like 2.5 periods later and he got like a goal or an assist or all that stuff. But he doesn't offer that consistent floor if he isn't producing. Mind you, he is obviously 22 points, 26 games. He's definitely creeping up there. Definitely with a good run, solid run, can end up like being even closer to point per game, if not actually bucking point per game. But man, it's just so incredibly frustrating when you're cheering for a dude and he just has, I guess, flashes and pans, and then he does nothing and enjoys the free skate. It's just not the guy that you want to buttress your fantasy lineup. Oh, I immensely regret drafting DeBrincat in the spots that I did. It would be so much. And look at that. 9 blocks, 9 hits. Just get one more of each so you're at least in the double digits. Good Lord, it's 25, 26 games in. Okay. Anywho, sorry for any DeBrincat owners out there. I am just a fellow DeBrincat owner, and as a cat owner, it really hurts a little bit. Okay. The next one from Aaron K. Bedard receive Dobson. I'm assuming redraft. This must be redraft, right? I don't know if Bedard's quote unquote downfall is as bad as many folks are saying. Like he's still, oh god, okay, top 160. Dobson. Oh yeah, Dobson's top 125. Is it not just positional scarcity that Dobson wins? Like Dobson's probably like top 10 in terms of defensemen in the league. I don't know if Bedard is even top 10 in terms of C. I feel like you trade Bedard. Yeah. Okay, so Wick says for now Merzlikins rest the season when Gibson is maybe traded to Stahl. Yes, that's true. Good consideration as well from Wick. Stahl obviously was the one while Gibson was hurt, and it's entirely possible they're playing Gibson to the value they are right now just because they want to showcase him and get him traded off and pawned off to another team with contract and years and everything. Gibson obviously has available suitors, I would imagine as well. Like Colorado's goalie situation is looking rough. Sorry for any Forgiev owners. There's also, in addition, I'm trying to think of another team that is needing goaltending in that way. Like maybe, unless Skinner really has turned it around, it's possible Edmonton's also in the running. The Kings also have a problem keeping Kemper free and not injured. Like Riddick obviously has been playing really well too, but anyways, so yeah, there are definitely teams that Gibson could really help, and maybe that's what Anaheim is showcasing him for. And in that case, to stall, like if the path is clear, so to speak, for both goalies to run as the number one goalie, I'm a way bigger believer in Dostal than I am in Merzlikins. Okay, Sir Celery. 1 goal, 1 point, 1 point goal assist, 1 point power play point. Keller and Nishushkin. Oh, okay. Now, this is the one. Do you want the best player on a worse team, or do you want the 4th best player on a way better offense? Let's do a little digging first. Okay, so Nishushkin's line 2, but he gets these random smoky moments of like 2 goals and multi-point games, eh? What's his points? What's his minute setup? He's got 19, 20. Oh, juicy. Okay, let's look at Keller. Keller, 17, 18, 20. Ah, man. So I would say of those two, the initial one that I'm leaning first was Nuke. Just Nuke's ceiling is almost unparalleled and unrivaled. Like this guy was the best player in the league last year, right? And then he got hurt, and then obviously he just kept falling off. And then obviously he wasn't just hurt; there were other things and extenuating factors and circumstances on top. But yeah, when he's playing well, Nichushkin is probably like he has some serious runs, and it's a wash too, right? Both are dual wing eligible. Frick, man, is there a way for you to keep both? There's got to be a way for you to keep both, right? So salary, like I can't. The other thing is, it's a concern of droppability as well, because I don't think you can drop either of these guys and get them back. Whereas, for example, even earlier when there was a discussion with other players, like there was like a Jake DeBrusk mentioned up there, there was like a Dylan Gunther. You can probably drop those guys and still retain a chance at, I guess, popping them back onto your roster. I'm not saying it's likely, just saying it's possible. I don't think it's possible for you to get either Nichushkin or Keller. Like, yeah, try to see if you can drop somebody else there. Okay, Blades of Steel. Which side wins? Granlund and Dunn, DeBrincat, Zibanejad, and Sanderson. Oh man, it's almost impossible to know if Granlund is Granlund doing all this because he's just the next Timo Meier, or is Granlund just a flash in the pan? Let's see. So he's got, holy moly, 5 points, 1 goal, 4 assists in his last 4 games. Didn't do anything. Oh, but that was an 8-1 drubbing against Tampa. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably leaning the Granlund side, obviously, because you now have an extra spot that you can roster and use for free agency. Okay. And Dunn just came back as well. So let's see. Dunn. And he got, not only did he come back, he slotted right back into the power play one. So yeah, I think it's Dunn and Granlund, man. I think that's got to be the one. Okay, ad drop. We're gonna post in. Oh shoot, sorry, I just realized we're in trade talks, bud. So sorry, Sir Celery. If you're saying in terms of targeting, in terms of a trade for Nichushkin or Keller, frick, yeah, I guess you got to go Nichushkin. Yeah, we want that upside. Okay, ad drop. We're going to scroll down a bit. We're going to head to, I guess it has to go to something that's closer. What was the one from yesterday? Let's see any pops from yesterday. Okay, so yesterday we are going to stick to head-to-head 10-team points. Oh, sorry. Actually, we'll go above that. We'll go to Swiss cheese, and it says, would you rather keep Hudson or Spurgeon? Hudson or Spurgeon? What was Spurgeon doing recently? Because Hudson literally just took over power play 1. Spurgeon also just took over power play 1. Oh, I see where this is coming from. And in terms of ice time, let's see. So Spurgeon's got 20 minutes the past 3 games, almost 20 minutes, like game 4, 2 goals in that game too. Yeah, I don't know, because Hudson obviously, like, we dream with the potential, but yeah, I think right now you got to stick with Spurgeon. The other one with Hudson too is he could lose that back to Matheson, and then yeah, Spurgeon ain't worth it to lose Spurgeon for a dude that lost power play 1 in Hudson. No, let's not do that. Okay, head to head, 10 points banger. Ekblad, Riley, and let's see. Man, Ekblad is still keeping on to that power play 1 though. No, is there a reason everyone's looking so lowly on Ekblad comparatively? The thing with Riley, and I was looking at this again, and as a Riley holder myself in multiple leagues, it is incredibly frustrating to hold Riley. He bounces between power play 1 and 2. Right now, currently power play 2. Probably not going to stay there. Probably going to bounce back up to power play 1. The issue isn't that he bounces between it. The issue is that he has so many games where he just does not perform anything else peripherally. And then not only does he almost like bounces between the games where he does something peripherally and then does nothing in the production side, or vice versa. And the season's already rolled through. He's currently 250th in my league. He's been healthy all the games and played all the games too. So you sit there and you go, like, obviously it's frustrating. I cannot drop him because I know the other Leafs fans in the league will pick him up. And obviously he might have like the potential breakout game. But on the flip side, he is not pulling his weight's worth of due for a top core defenseman in a fantasy league. More than anything, too, like you put Riley, imagine you put Morgan Riley on like the Seattle Kraken or like I don't know, the Utah Hockey Club. And do you really see him driving power play and like that's sort of the like? I don't think so. I think he's entirely just there in terms of his draft capital because he's got a maple leaf on the jersey. And in that way, I don't know. I'm not the Riley believer that way. Or maybe I'm just the Riley, like this is the Riley owner speaking out in my mind. I'd probably stick Ekblad, but it looks like the vote's already closed and Riley somehow has won. The only thing I would say too is Riley probably has like a 50, like half a boot always in that power play one in Leafs land. Whereas I guess like Ekblad, I don't know, he was in the doghouse for a bit. They had like guys like Balinskis and what was the other guy's name? Like they had a bunch of guys in power play one in Florida before they put Ekblad back in. But again, if you have some older fantasy managers, like Ekblad obviously was like just the de facto power play dude, before Montour, before all that jazz. So I think Ekblad, you probably want Ekblad in his upside. What to do with Matheson? Yeah, okay, hold Matheson. Yeah, just hold Matheson. Don't drop him. Okay, try this again. Pick two goalies. Who are the two goalies? Rest of season. Okay. Ullmark, Montembeault, Georgiev, Vejmelka, Merzlikins. I think out of all these guys you listed, oh yeah, man, Georgiev gets no votes, no love. Yeah. Now I'm wondering, like, does Forgiev ever come true to a point where he is so undervalued that the top 1A in Colorado still gets value? Probably not. No, I'm overthinking and lying to myself. I think it's got to be Ullmark. And I think afterwards, if you're going for starts, it's Monty or Merzlikins. The thing with Vejmelka as well is it depends when Ingram comes back. If Ingram doesn't come back for like another month or two, then I think Vejmelka can still offer immense value. But if he comes back after Christmas, then yeah, it's going to be a real tough spot. Okay. You have. Why would you? Sorry. So dirty work. Why would you hold on to Matheson if Hudson has taken over PP1? Well, I guess it's the only answer to that would be it depends if Hudson holds and retains PP1. But yeah, I mean, good question. I mean, if I knew and I could see in the future that Hudson was going to hold it for the next like 50 games, then yeah, no, I'm obviously not going to hold on to Matheson. I just don't believe that a rookie is going to be able to carry that consistent play all the way through. Which would you rather have going forward? Okay, so that's Kemper or Vejmelka. Yeah, I'd rather have Kemper. I don't think Kemper's going to stay healthy, but I'd rather have him. Okay, hold Matheson. Oh, wow. Okay, that vote closed. Banger League, best hold for rest of season, DeBrusk or Marchment? Let's see, DeBrusk or Marchment. So Vancouver was the one that we just talked about having that juicy playoff schedule, right? March 24th. Okay, so we're going to check just to see. So for any league holders who are, I guess, going to be the top two seeds and you're going to have that run and play, then I would say definitely, yeah, you want to hold on to DeBrusk because they have an amazing semifinal schedule. And let's check Vancouver's quarterfinal schedule. Oh, and they do have no. Sorry, we didn't update the dates. Okay, we're gonna go to the 17th. And what's their schedule for week? Or I guess not week for March 17th. So Vancouver has a very off night heavy quarterfinal and a very a very heavy night quarterfinal and a very off night semifinal. So if you think you are going to get the bye week, you want a Vancouver player. You want the DeBrusk. Now let's check Dallas. So Dallas has a very Dallas has a Dallas. Where's Dallas? Where the heck are the Stars? They're not shining. They're not shining in my eye at the moment. Okay, they also have a heavy. Yeah, they just play the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday on March 17th week, and they also play. They play the Monday, Wednesday off night. Yeah, okay, so both teams probably have like playoff relativity. I guess maybe you lean. I guess you have to lean DeBrusque if they have a slightly better schedule and they're basically a wash. Also, is Marchment only left wing? Because I know DeBrusque is DeBrusque. So DeBrusque is dual eligible, and Marchment is left wing only. Yeah, so I think you got to go DeBrusque just for your capacity. You double the ability to drop, or not drop. You double the ability to start him, right? Okay. No new starter bench questions, so we're going to pop into the goalie chat. And let's see. I guess we got to start somewhere. Okay. I guess yesterday from Pup Sports Group. Do we think Wedgwood gets the Saturday or the Sunday? Feels like we always overthink it. 99% of the time, the starter gets the front end. Yeah, I would agree with that statement. I think 99% of the time it's just the starter getting the front end. The only time I remember that distinctly not happening was, I think, when there was the when there was a Battle of Alberta and Skinner didn't start the Saturday because they were facing Calgary on the Sunday. That was one of the rare times I remember seeing that. Okay, let's see. I don't see any new updates today yet for the starts. So yeah, I would, knowing nothing else, Pup Sports Group, I would lean toward Wedgwood being on the Sunday. Okay. Non-parallel, none. Keep Lankinen or Wolf moving forward. I think you gotta keep Lankinen, man. That I don't know what's happening with the news for Demko. Like we just aren't seeing any new updates for some reason. Actually, let's double check that. Stop. No way. Huge. He's back. Well, he was back as the backup. But yeah, Demko just backed it up. Okay, wait, let's see if Lankinen gonna. Okay, Lankinen got the dub. Oh, boys. Oh, huge question. Do we keep Lankinen or Wolf going forward? What a time for the question, especially with Demko coming back. I can't imagine they would immediately throw him in, right? Like they have to be ranking it out a bit. But yeah, Wolf, Frank, he hasn't started in 3 games. He lost the last game against Columbus. Yeah, I think you got to hold on to Lankinen and see what they end up doing. Hopefully it becomes a 1A, 1B for Lankinen owners, holders' sake. My goodness. But yeah, Thatcher Demko, boys. Thatcher Demko has returned. Oh, exciting news. Exciting news in the hockey world. Okay, Analog Kid. Do we think Luukkonen is starting today? Oh man, I always call him UPL. Man, yeah, but I guess never thought of it that way. But yeah, it is true. Luukkonen. He is confirmed. He is starting today. That was confirmed at, I guess, like 20 minutes ago. But yes, he is starting today. I guess we'll respond to there. UPL is the confirmed starter. Cool. So that's what, 3 starts in a row? 3 starts in a row. All 3 games this week too. Okay, so Sugarbean Timbers, I'm in the same boat. Are we dropping Georgiev? I'm in the same boat, holding for the moment. Didn't add Wedgwood. Yeah, it's a very strange situation there, right? You basically have a career backup in Georgiev that ended up going, like, he left his career backup role in on the Rangers to the Colorado Avalanche. He did pretty well, honestly, all things considered, last season, and then got like the start of this season was just ridiculous heading into unrestricted free agency. He's not really held his own entirely. He's had flashes in the pan, but the guy replacing him, Scott Wedgwood, is not exactly a dude that's been a starter all his career either. Both of these guys are career backups, right? That can turn it on when the moment, I guess, like arises and asks of them. But can they do that every single game, night in, night out? I don't think his current 21% rostership for Scott Wedgwood is. I think there's a lot of folks buying in on the pink sheets, hoping he turns into a blue chip. But at the same time, like if you look at Georgiev in comparison, like he's at 72% rostership. Did they announce that starter yet? No, they still haven't announced the starter. I would be surprised. I would be relatively, I think it's possible, but I would be relatively surprised if Georgiev didn't get the start today. And the reason I would say that is because he got blown up terribly against Buffalo, but he didn't play against Carolina, where they still lost. So I would assume with a back-to-back upcoming, they would give Georgiev all the run they can to be, I guess, the man, and you would rather him face Detroit over the back-to-back ensuing against Jersey. And I mean, the one right after that is Pittsburgh, right? So if I'm Bednar and Colorado management, like if they were even willing to trade away New Juice to Nashville, I'm assuming they are really believing in Alexander Georgiev. So I would assume, based on this is just Jay's speculation here, but I would assume, talking it out, that Georgiev gets the start tonight against Detroit. Wedgwood gets the start against Jersey on Sunday, and then it's going to piggyback to Georgiev on the Pittsburgh night when they're on the road trip to Pittsburgh. And the weird part too is I guess all those names could get flipped if Wedgwood starts today, but I will be pretty surprised if Wedgwood starts today. Okay, let's see. So far we got through trade talk, ad drop, starter bench. Do we get any questions in the comments? No questions in the comments. Okay, I guess let's check. So no new starter bench questions, no new ad drop questions, no new trade talk questions. I guess we'll pop down quick. Let's see. There's no goalie chat, keeper chat, player outlook. Okay, so maybe I guess we'll go back at a certain point. We can't go back too far. Let's see. So let's go to Rolby. Okay, so Rolby from December 4th, he said, where are people at with Stankoven and redraft leads? Got pretty cold, but might be ready now for takeoff with Sagan toast. Oh, jeez. Okay, I dropped him on a 10-teamer, and I hope I won't regret it. And the good part is you won't regret it. Rolby, you're perfectly fine. You look at that Week 10 schedule upcoming. Dallas plays 2 games, and they play on the heavy nights. Mind you, they do play against Nashville, and they play against St. Louis. So you'd like to think those 2 games might be a little more high scoring and winnable. But either way, you're going to have guys already 14 games, 15 games. The entire league's playing on both those nights. What are the chances you'd have Stankoven available to play anyway? So that's fine. You are not going to regret it, specifically because I want to think of it from your perspective, Rolby. Let's be real here. If I'm in your league, I want the teams. I dropped Stankoven, and I want that poison pill of a Stankoven to be burned as a drop by my opponents. I want my opponents to snag Stankoven, burn an ad, and then also not be able to roster the guy and play him. So there's no point production on that game. And there's going to be another player of value opened up and available in the league. So if there was ever an example of a poison pill player to drop this coming Week 10, it is Logan Stankoven. Not saying Logan Stankoven can't absolutely pop off, score 6 goals, hat tricks each side, but the odds of that happening compared to, like him score, like him, in order for him to do that and for him to have helped you, you would have needed to, 1, have kept Stankoven, 2, had Stankoven started, and 3, You would actually needed to have given up on the available streamable other options to have kept him and started him. All those things being equal, I'd probably lean on the odds of that not happening and also leaning on the odds of some other guy that I streamed also doing more on the off nights anyway. So don't worry. And if you dropped him and someone else picked him up, don't fret and be sad. Celebrate that your poison pill actually got swallowed. Gorgeous. I love to play in leagues where other managers swallow my poison pill drops. And Logan Stankoven is the perfect one this week. Mind you, maybe I said all this and now he's going to end up with that 6-goal hat trick or 6-goal, 2 hat tricks aside. But yeah, all things equal, it's amazing. Key. I haven't used a single ad all week, but my opponent has used up all of his. Any suggestions for who to pick up on the weekend? Okay, so yeah, I was saying obviously when he's getting it on the Thursday, yeah, he was thinking on the right track of snagging up Columbus Blue Jackets players, Marchenko. Yeah, he was getting on all the right angles and places. I think if there's any players to target for the remainder of this week, the big name was going to be try to get Rangers if possible, because the Rangers have not only an amazing weekend in week 9, but also an incredible 3-off night week in week 10. So yeah, if you can snag as many Rangers as possible. I know that Trouba trade also recently just popped out. I also, yes, immediately tried to do what everyone else was doing as well. You popped on to the Rangers, and when you popped onto the Rangers, you were like, which D-man is going to be taking up all those juicy spots and, minutes? And then you realize that Trouba on 8 million was already on the third line pairing, and you realized, unfortunately, there probably wasn't as juicy a pickup as possible. But still, if you look around, there's got to be open up minutes. Looks like Schneider and K'Andre Miller are probably the ones to get any bump if there ever was one. But yeah, barring that, like you're looking at some stranger names that are getting time as well, right? Like Zach Jones was getting power play time at some point as a PP2. Yeah, just a bizarre moment for sure. But yeah, if Rangers have such a great schedule for this weekend and also petering over into the next, you want to see it. You want to grab it. Okay, Mimes. What do you want to do with JT Miller? Any status update on him? Is he playable again this year? Is he droppable or what? I mean, JT Miller just got listed onto that Four Nations League, right? I'm assuming he's gonna be healthy, popping up soon. I mean, this is really talking into the wind, but it's also possible that Team USA was thinking about the upside and saying that we would rather have him if he comes back, and if he's injured and or still out on personal issues, then we can definitely, I guess, like find a swap replacement, but they won't be able to find another swap replacement if they don't list him on the roster immediately in December 1st, right? So maybe that's where they're going with it, and it's possible that there's another Team USA spot rostering open up. But yeah, I think in terms of fantasy specifics, I've not seen new updates on him. I've not heard new updates on him. I've heard rumblings, but I haven't, I don't want to confirm rumors or anything. I don't think he's a drop. Obviously, because he's IRNR, so he's clearly IR eligible, if not IR plus eligible. Yeah, you can't drop that. You can't drop that. And Mimes, I do want to confirm that there is an IR slot in your league. Actually, it doesn't matter if he's IR plus or IR, because he's definitely IR eligible, so he'll fit in both. But yeah, definitely do want to confirm. And if not, if anyone's playing in a league without an IR, I think these situations would definitely push, I guess, managers and commissioners to consider the IR, because yeah, what do you do when you have players of this caliber that have extenuating circumstances that need them to be out? Okay, so TCAT literally just answered everything that I was just describing. And that probably honestly sums it all up. Okay, we'll do one last check over. Trade talks, ad drops, starter benches, our goalie chats, and yeah, player outlooks. And I think I am going to go and hit the outro. Where's the outro? All right, there we go. Jeez, no, wrong one. Okay, we're gonna hit the outro. that I guess in listener land with the with the 50 Fantasy Pod. Thanks so much for popping on and chatting some hockey with us. It's always fun. I hope everyone does well in their weekend games. I hope your teams perform, they pop off. Hope all your guys sail off and you crush it in week 9, roll through in week 10. Boys, it is 40% of the way through the season. I hope you're all in this playoffs. See you then. Oh man, it is a time and a half. I guess, right? We will pick you up later.